What's good, Combat Sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. It's your host, Bando, and this is the first episode of 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody had a good 2025. I hope everybody had a good holiday season, and I hope you are ready to have one dope-ass 2026. I mean it. I feel like everybody is going to win this year. This is for everybody to win. 2026 is for everybody to get it. So, everybody, we shooting for the stars. We getting the dubs in 2026. Simple as that. But welcome back to a fresh episode. I know it's been a minute. A little bit of a hiatus. Been doing some other things. I actually recently started a golf brand. You know, it's one of those things where I'm not 100% on this name right now, but it's up there. Right now it's called Cloud9 Golf Accessories, but we're working on some stuff. But either way, I've been working on that kind of new little endeavor thing that I've been getting into because I bounced back into golf, and I used to dog golfers. Golfers are crazy sometimes, and now I'm one of them. It happens, but guess what? Nothing gonna take me away from being a fight fan. That's still my number one love. So, what am I here today to talk about? 2025 had a lot of dope-ass knockouts. Now, I got a lot of complaints about the fights in 2025, but we did get some dope-ass knockouts. So I wanted to go through my top 20 knockouts, kind of, sort of in order, not necessarily in a perfect order, but they're kind of in order. But I wanted to go through the top 20 knockouts of 2025. So, let's waste no time. Let's get into it, and let's smoke. It's been a minute. We ain't smoked in a minute. Spark up. So like I said, welcome back to another episode. We are here going through talking about the top 20 KOs, and I am going to start with number 20. I got to go with Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. The reason I say this is because it was an exciting fight. It really was. It had an exciting, it was just an exciting pace, good back and forth. No boring wrestling, no boring stalling positions, nothing. It was a good back and forth contest. And Randy Brown got a nasty KO, very similar to the Max Holloway UFC 300 KO over Justin Gaethje. The overhand right sat Nicholas Dalby down face first. Beautiful knockout. Great win. Randy Brown always tends to bring an exciting fight. Whether he wins or loses, he brings something to the table to bring in an exciting fight, bring a little bit of action. And he did in that fight. And Nicholas Dalby's no slouch. He's got a good chin. He really does. And it took most of the fight for Randy Brown to end up getting that knockout. But it was a nasty knockout, so definitely had to make the list. Then you go on to Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho in the number 19 slot. Great knockout. A little bit of hezzy action with the leg kick. Kind of fakes the leg kick. Goes with the hook. Drops Moutinho. Another face plant. Great knockout. A lot of high hopes for Malcolm Wellmaker, right? Obviously, last fight was a loss, but that happened. Still early in his career. Still young. It was a short notice fight. You know, so it's one of those things where he just needs to keep on going. Keep on getting these fights. And he could potentially be a problem in that division. But that knockout had to make the list with the little hezzy, with the leg kick, and just to catch him with that beautiful shot. And another, just the face plant KOs. There was a lot of face plant KOs this year. But fantastic KO. So it had to make the list in the number 19 slot. Moving on to 18. A lot of you guys might not put this low on this list. But like I said, this really isn't a full-on order. And at the same time, when we talk about the best KOs, I'm talking about spark unconscious most of the time. And this one wasn't that, but the style of the knockout and the magnitude of the fight, of the rivalry, everything like that, had to make the list. So number 18 goes to Diego Lopez's KO over Jean Silva. Dope KO, even though it wasn't, like I said, spark unconscious. He didn't go straight asleep. Spinning back elbow, just glancing off the top of the head to get the finish. It was beautiful, and they had such beef going into that fight, and obviously didn't look to seem like they really settled it at the end of the fight. But Diego Lopez came out like a savage in that one. He came out like a savage, and he was ready to get some sort of finish that night. And that elbow was just picture perfect, great timing. Caught him right on the top of the dome. Ends up getting a finish. So like I said, had to make the list, even though it wasn't fresh out KO type thing. It was still something that could not be discussed in this. I had to talk about that one. That was a great knockout. And we've seen the fighting nerds skyrocket real fast, and now they're kind of slowing down, right? But I still think Jean Silva is going to be an extremely exciting fight. I think all of the fighting nerds are going to continuously be exciting fighters, whether win, lose, draw, whatever the case may be. It's not going to be a boring contest if you got one of them in the octagon. I think it's just that simple. 17, I'm rocking with Yuri Petroska versus Jamal Hill. And I put this at 17 because it was a cool knockout in the sense that he took the Poatan blueprint for that one, right? He followed the exact combination that Alex threw to finish Jamal. He did against, or no, the exact combination that Alex threw to finish Yuri used to finish Jamal. That's how you learn in a fight game. That's how you learn in a fight game. You drop the loss. You stop worrying about the loss, right? Because when you stick and get stuck on that loss, you ain't never getting off it. Yuri bounced off that loss, learned from that loss, brought it to his next fight, got a beautiful dub. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It was a great knockout. And anytime Yuri Petroska is in the win column, fans are excited. He is one of the biggest fan favorites I've seen in the UFC. Like, if we're talking in WWE terms, he is a huge baby face. He's over with everybody, with pretty much everybody. If you dislike Yuri Petroska, I got to ask you one question. Why? Moving on to 16. You know, this one was a more recent one, clean-cut knockout. Not one I was fully expecting, but at the same time, not one that catches you off guard, per se. But Carlos Ulberg's KO over Dominic Reyes. Now, Dominic Reyes, obviously, we've seen him have the rise, the fall, the small rise. We don't know if it's the start of the fall again, but the timing of Carlos Ulberg's punches in that fight were perfect. Perfect. Clean punches. Everything was clean. Carlos Ulberg was very patient. He threw the right punches, threw them right down the middle. Clean cut. Got the finish. And we know Dominic Reyes doesn't have this perfect, super strong chin. He's not an iron jaw he's not an iron jaw. He gets clipped and he can go out. But at the same time, he was seeming like, okay, maybe he's snapping back a little bit from the guy who was getting KO'd. He's snapping back. Maybe he's building a little bit of strength around the chin. He can handle the punches. But it's the ones that you don't see coming. And just because a punch is coming down the middle does not mean you are going to see it coming. And that's exactly what happened with Dominic Reyes. Carlos Ulberg timed it perfect. It was clean. You can't take nothing away from it. So definitely had to make the list for a fantastic knockout of 2025. Now we got to talk about, what number is this? What number are we on? Number 15, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ante Delija. The reason I put this on the list is because a week prior, the heavyweight champion of the world, Tom Aspinall, the fight had to be a no contest fight, because he got poked in the eye and he couldn't continue. Now, a couple months later, seems like there might be some really bad stuff going on with the eye. We'll get to that later. But a week later after that performance, Waldo Cortez Acosta gets poked in the eye on some nastiness. Okay? Came back and got the finish. Now, to do that in the same division a week later, after the champion had to go to a no contest because he couldn't fight because of the eye poke, it's a slight statement made, right? It's a slight statement made. Oh, you can do it. You're not even he is a ranked guy, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not even a top guy. You're pushing through. Like, fuck it. And Tom was like, I can't push through it. Now, granted, like I said, seems like there might be more to that, but we'll get to that another time because we're talking about knockouts right now. And Tom Aspinall did not make this list, so put Tommy to the side. But yeah, number 15 had to go to Waldo Cortez Acosta. It was a great finish, and just to come back from the eye poke, not pull out, not back out, nothing at all. Just came full-fledged, got the finish. Great win. Had to make the list for sure. Number 14 goes to Priscilla Cachoeira versus Josiane Nunes. This was a nasty one. Nasty uppercut in the clinch. She pulled the clinch down, hit her with the uppercut. Whoo! Went to sleep. Sleep. Out cold. You don't see out cold much in women's fights, but when you do see them, it's almost way more shocking. It's way more of a whoa factor, holy shit factor, because it's surprising when a guy does it. It's extremely surprising when a woman does it, because you just don't see it that often, right? You see people get TKO'd, you see people get submitted, put to sleep, stuff like that. Those KOs that are sparked unconscious, cold, out, you don't see them that often in the women's divisions. So I had to put this on the list. Priscilla Cachoeira came through. Now you're talking about a woman who got mauled by Valentina Shevchenko. During the fight, people were saying this woman's career is never going to be the same. Out here still getting finishes. Shout out to Priscilla Cachoeira. Great finish, great knockout. Had to make the list. This next one is hard to pronounce, so bear with me, right? And this is number 13. Io Baranowski's KO over Ibo Aslan. For one round, it was an absolute slugger. Bar fight. Dudes just standing in the pocket, swinging. Anybody could have won this fight. Anything could have happened. Any punch could have been the one that landed. Looks like Iwo got the knockout. I had to look to make sure I don't say Ibo, because Iwo versus Ibo, ain't that crazy? That's crazy. But Iwo got the knockout. Nasty knockout too. But it was after an unbelievable, I mean, I don't even know if it went 4 minutes, 3 minutes of just absolute dudes just swinging. And that's what we like, man. And that was one of those fights where there was like no fans in the seats. A lot of these fans don't go to the early prelims. They don't check out the prelims. They don't care. They buy the tickets for the main card. So seats were empty, but they gave people a reason to stay in their seat and not go get popcorn and not go get drinks and not go. They gave people to stay in their seat for a good 3 minutes to watch an absolute banger for 3 minutes. So I had to put that one on the list. Even if it wasn't like the most amazing KO, it was still nasty. I think it was another face plant KO if I remember correctly. But either way, two dudes slugging, either one of them could have landed the kill shot. Who knows if the fight would have went further, if that would have stayed like that, or if they both would have been gassed out. So the best thing happened, I think, is somebody getting KO'd. It needed to happen. You know what I mean? So moving on to number 12. Fighting Nerds, my boy Carlos Prates getting the KO over the former champion Leon Edwards. That I didn't expect. I don't think anybody expected it. Nobody's ever seen Leon Edwards get KO'd because he's not normally somebody to get KO'd. But let me tell you something. This new wave of welterweight is going to take over and be the most exciting division in the UFC, right? Obviously, Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena, it didn't perform. It wasn't extremely exciting. It was a good performance on Islam's end. It just wasn't an exciting fight on the fans' end. But I think the people that are in line to potentially fight for the title can make some really, really exciting fights with the champion, with other guys in the top 5. Like, we have a dope division right now. So watch out. I think welterweight's going to skyrocket. But the knockout over Leon Edwards for Carlos Prates, I was not predicting it. And I wasn't predicting it in the way it happened. One, you got Leon on the backpack with the meme of Carlos Prates. Like, really, dude? Like, just sitting there taking shots with Leon on his back. Funny meme moment. But him catching him with that straight left right down the middle. Just clean cut right down the middle. Not a way I would expect somebody who has never been knocked out to be knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, watching Jorge Masvidal back in the day get knocked out. I don't know why I said back in the day. It wasn't that long ago. But Jorge Masvidal getting knocked out by Kamaru Usman. That looked like a kill shot. That right hand looked like a kill shot when it landed. This one didn't really look like a kill shot, but It's the way Carlos Prates throws his punches. He throws them, he lands them right on the tail end. He has long arms with like bombs at the end of his hands, and he just knows how to land right in the perfect spot. He's clean cut. He's hard to read because he's not super orthodox when he comes to his fighting, right? He's a little unorthodox on his striking. His hands are low. His chin is up. He's kind of doing stuff that they teach you not to do, but it's the way he does it, man. He does everything that you're not supposed to do as a fighter. He smokes like 15 cigarettes a day. Name another fighter that does that. That's what I'm saying. Carlos Prates is a dog. He had to make the list. And I'm just saying, this ain't the only one on the list for him. Moving on to number 11. Number 11 kind of gets broken in a way because of another one that was on this list earlier, but Dominic Reyes' KO over Nikita Krylov was perfect. It was perfect. It was needed. It was a beautiful step back, clean cut KO with the left hand, kind of like an old school Conor McGregor style KO. But we also got really familiar with Dominic Reyes from the left hand KOs. So him getting the step back right down the middle, beautiful left hand on the counter. Nikita Krylov kept coming in the whole night, kept kind of chasing, overthrowing his punches, lunging with his shots. It was only a matter of time, and Dom timed it up, caught him with a beautiful left hand right down the middle, step back, boom, perfect. And with the way that Dominic Reyes' career was going before that, you like to see the man win. It does suck to see him fall to somebody, but I'd rather see him fall to somebody like Carlos Ulberg than some, unranked light heavyweight that makes their name off of him. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Ulberg is a dog. He's kind of the dark horse of that division. So, it's an interesting thing, that both of them had to fight. It was one or the other was going out. Honestly, that was going to be a knockout on either end. And not only that, that fight was number one contender. You got a knockout artist in the top of the division. You want to see him fight more knockout artists. That's just how it goes. That's how the game goes. That's how you keep the division exciting. And that's how light heavyweight was back in the day with Chuck Liddell, Rampage Jackson, Forrest Griffin. All these guys, they got dope KOs and they went in there to scrap. If they didn't get a crazy KO, they went in there to scrap. So they put on exciting fights. And that's how that division was the one that was kind of carrying the UFC for a while. I can see light heavyweight start getting like that because you got a lot of knockout artists in the division. They just have to continue to put on the exciting fights. But I had to put Dominic Reyes on that list because I just thought that was a fantastic KO. Step back, clean cut counter left. Trademark Dominic Reyes style KO. Now we're getting into number 10. Now we are into the top 10. Bo Nickal's knockout over Rodolfo Vieira had to get on this list. You're thinking, it's Bo Nickal versus Vieira. It's going to be a wrestler versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, we had some action on the ground, but it wasn't nothing crazy. For Bo Nickal to get a head kick KO, and it wasn't just like a head kick, stumbled him and caught him with a couple shots. No, it was a knockout, nasty knockout. I got to give Bo Nickal his props. There's nothing you can take away from that. That's really how you come back from a loss. Not only did he lose, he lost in I'm not going to say an embarrassing fashion. I feel like anytime you lose, it's kind of an embarrassing fashion. But he got kneed in the stomach, went falling down, got, not necessarily KO'd, TKO'd just by body shots and stuff like that. He couldn't handle the pressure, got tired, couldn't handle the pressure of RDR. And to come back and get a knockout the way you did, that's exactly how you come back from a loss. Had to make this list, and I put it in top 10 because he's not the person that you expected to get a head kick KO. Of all KOs, not expect the man to get a head kick KO. So, fantastic knockout. Had to make top 10. Now, like I said, this man was going to make the list again. So, in the number 9 slot, the fighting nerd, Carlos Prates, getting the spinning back, I guess, elbow, fist, forearm KO over Jeff Neal. It was nasty. It was a walk-off, too. He hit it, landed it, walked off right at the end of the round. Picture perfect. Picture perfect. It doesn't get any better than that. Actually, it might in these next few. But that KO, nasty KO, had to make the list. Most definitely top 10 of the year. My boy Yuri back at it again. in the number 8 slot. The reason this made the number 8 slot is because this might have been one of the most exciting moments for me all of 2025. It got me hype. Seeing Yuri beat Khalil Roundtree was awesome. One, as a fight fan and any other person that is a fight fan, we knew when that fight got booked, it was going to be wild. It was going to be back and forth. It was going to be crazy. You were going to see some unorthodox stuff from Yuri, and you were going to see some clean technical kill shot striking from Khalil. And that's exactly what it was. Khalil was landing dangerous shots in the first round. He was landing shots that were definitely doing damage. He was quicker than Yuri. His counters were on point. Yuri was trying to stay normal, right? He was trying to stay normal. Once Yuri started making it crazy, took over, and it was a beautiful KO. And I think, again, another face-planted KO. If I remember correctly, I think it was another face-plant KO. But either way, it was nasty. Had me extremely hyped because the fight was exciting. Yuri always has you like on edge when you're watching him, especially if you're a fan of him. He has you on edge. And Khalil's another one of those fighters that puts you on edge when you're watching him, because you know, like, this fight can either be a crazy exciting war or somebody can go to sleep really fast. And we kind of got both in a way. We got a bit. It wasn't a crazy war, but it was a crazy fight. It was a wild fight, but great win by Yuri Petroska. And then he proceeded later that night when Alex gets his win, sits there and he's damn near in tears like somebody's uncle or something like that. So Yuri's a legend, man. Already a legend. Number 7, Cesar Almeida's KO over Abdul Hassan was nasty. And I'll tell you why. Because he was getting beat, right? He was getting beat on the ground, getting beat up, taking a lot of shots, but never folded. He never folded. When you hear the ref say fight back and you fight back, you are still alive. And that's exactly what he did. He fought back, stayed alive, and within 10 to 15 seconds of him getting pummeled on the ground, he gets up, lands a beautiful counter left hook, and sends Al Hassan done. Out cold. Nasty KO. That is one I suggest looking up because that was nasty. And I know a lot of people didn't see that. If you're just a casual fight fan, and I'm not dogging you for, with the word casual. Casual's just, people made that word a problem in the MMA community. But if you're just a casual fight fan who just watches here and there, you most likely did not catch that KO. So I suggest checking that one out because that was a nasty KO. Number 6 goes to Ricky Simone's KO over Javid Basharat. Because the underdog KO is always going to make the list, Ricky Simone chucked that right hand from hell and it landed clean on the jaw of Basharat, sent him flatline to the canvas. Another beautiful, just dunzo KO. Like, absolutely done. Ricky Simone was the underdog going into that fight. Wish I would have threw a bet on him. I didn't, though. Nasty KO. Nothing you can say about it. Nasty KO. Great win for Ricky Simone. And I just love anytime you get that big underdog win like that. From a guy who's been in the division, fighting top guys, fighting different guys who have made their way to being into top guys. Like, he's been in the division for a while. He's been in the promotion for a while. Basharat, few years in, you don't want somebody to come in and really make their name off of you, make a crazy statement. Ricky Simone did not let that happen. Great KO. Number 5 goes out to Elijah Smith versus, I just want to make sure I don't botch this, Toshiyomi Kazama. First round slam KO. Whoa. You don't get many slam KOs. You really don't. It's not a common thing, right? Anytime somebody sees the slam KO, the first thing they think of is Rampage Jackson, and rightfully so. He made it famous. He made people remember it, and don't forget, you can continue to use it. It is a very useful strategy. If you have somebody up, either one up against the cage and they're trying to fight off in a way where they're putting you in a guard, but you guys are still standing, you go for the slam like that. Like any type of thing that they try to do and you have them in a position where you can just slam, It works. But if the head hits the mat, they're going to sleep. Slams are hard, and this one was hard. Slams are very dangerous too. If you think about somebody's head getting slammed on the back of the canvas, that can't be too good. It's not too good for the future for CTE. Doubtful that it's good. Can't be good. I don't think it's good. It's probably bad. It's fucking bad. But anyways, it was nasty. And like I said, it's bad. It took him a minute to get up. Like, he was barely getting up, and it took a while for him to get up. Great knockout, though. I mean, that's the effed up nature of the fight game, isn't it? Us fight fans, we watch somebody work for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to get to a fight, to get slam KO'd in the first round, right? Go out bad. And we're over here like, that KO was sick, though. It was a nasty KO, though. Dope KO. And that's just how the game is. It's fucked up. It's low-key fucked up. Number 4 on the list, another one of the most exciting moments of 2025. Wasn't a crazy, sparked out, unconscious knockout, but it's probably one of the loudest moments that you've heard from all the fans in the arena. And that was when Alex Pereira got the finish over Magomed Ankalaev. Caught him with a nasty shot. Forced Magomed to shoot. Stuffed the takedown. Obviously was working hard on the takedown defense for this fight, because the first fight there wasn't many takedowns, but he was expecting it so much, and there was times where it did play a factor. Alex was ready in this one in every aspect. He went right at him. He said, "Bitch, I ain't going back to the tire shop." And that's exactly what Alex Pereira is not doing. He got himself his belt back. He now has Tracy Cortez, Poatan, Shama. Number 3 might be one of the cleanest, slickest KOs of the year. Mauricio Rufy's KO over King Green. There's nothing bad you can say about that. It was so clean cut, perfect. Timing and everything. And the way that he dropped him, I think, again, a faceplant KO. Spinning heel kick, whatever exactly the exact terminology is for it. I've heard so many people call it too many different things. A spin kick, spinning heel kick, whatever the case may be. He landed it perfect. It doesn't get much more perfect than a kick like that. It's up there with Edson Barbosa's KO over Terry Adam. It's up there with that type of kick. It was beautiful. It was a great, he faked like he was going to throw a 1-2. Faked the 1-2 and came back around the opposite way. And it was so quick. Bobby never saw it coming. Never saw it coming. And Bobby's a slick striker, but he's somebody who likes to keep his hands down. He loves to keep his hands down. So it's a matter of time. If you can slip something dope in there, you're probably going to slip. He's been in so many scraps too, right? Bobby's been in so many scraps. So many scraps. People's chins deteriorate over time. And that's probably what's happening to Bobby Green right now. But yeah, nasty KO. Definitely one of the nastiest of the years. But not only was it nasty on the sense of the man going straight to sleep, it was just technically beautiful. Perfect. Like picture perfect. Number 2 goes to one of the, I want to say, deadliest knockouts. This shit scared me. When Lerone Murphy landed that spinning elbow on Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico was so far gone. I don't know if you bounce back well from that. That was disgusting. Not only was the force of the elbow had Aaron Pico coming in. Aaron Pico was putting the pressure on right off rip. I get it. You're making your UFC debut. You're trying to make a statement. He put the pressure right off rip. But it kind of backfired because Lerone Murphy just waited, timed it. He had his back up against the cage. You kind of have no other choice but to get a little wild out of there. Sometimes the 1-2s down the middle don't work in that position. You have to get a little wild. He timed that spinning back elbow perfect. It doesn't get any more perfect than the timing of this one. And the way Aaron Pico landed, back of the head, just boom, slamming on the mat. It wasn't a good one. That was probably one of the most like I said, I guess deadliest knockouts. I don't really want to call it deadliest because no one died or anything like that, but it was one of the most vicious, most violent KOs of the year. Sucks that you come in making your debut, but he was making his debut against a top undefeated guy, a guy that I guarantee you is going to fight for a belt in 2026. So it's very tough for Aaron Pico to be able to jump into the biggest fight promotion in the game of MMA. It's the biggest one. You were in a big promotion, but now you're hopping up another level, right? And not only are you hopping up another level, you were never really a top guy in the division in Bellator. So when you jump over this way and you're fighting a top guy in the division in the UFC, it's bound for a bad night. And that's unfortunately what it was for Aaron Pico. But it was definitely one of the best knockouts of the year. So I had to put that in the number 2 slot. And number 1, the biggest heartbreak for me of the year. You already know where I'm going with this. Ilia Toporia's KO over Charles Oliveira. I was sick. The speed of which I left the room was unbelievable. It was ridiculous. I couldn't repeat it right now. Like, it was so quick. I was out. I saw it right when he threw the right hand. As soon as Charles came in and he had his hands right here, the right ball. I'm sick. Still, I probably won't get over this. And my boy Dave gave me another poster. Jeez, I can't talk. My boy Dave gave me another poster. There you go. And I was going to put it up on the wall. But it's the fight poster for the card of Ilia and Charles. And it's in my room. And that hurts even worse to be reminded of it every day. But hey, it was a fantastic knockout. I can't take nothing away from Ilia Topuria. He really is the truth. He goes in there and speaks on what he's going to do and gets it done. To knock out Charles in the first round, nobody has done that. Nobody has done that to Charles. Obviously, he's been finished. He's been beaten. Nobody has put him out like that in the first round, called the shot. The man was celebrating the win the night before. That's a different level of confidence. I just can't, I can't be mad at it. It was such a clean-cut win. It broke my heart because you guys know Charles is my boy, one of my favorite fighters to ever step into the octagon. He's exciting, everything like that. I'm not going to get deep into it. You guys already know. But Ilia is the truth. It's that simple. He went in there. Charles wanted to clash with a guy you shouldn't clash with because the accuracy is there. His head movement is there as well. His boxing is the best boxing in the UFC for Ilia. He really does have the best boxing. So the head movement is there. He has the power. He has the accuracy. He has the timing. You don't want to just clash head on with that. And Charles tried. Charles wanted to see if he could, be the alpha, I guess, in that fight, instead of just trying to fight to his style. And he got slept. And it had to go number 1. It was the best KO in the first round. Featherweight champion relinquishing his belt to go up to 155 to fight for the vacant belt. It was all just perfect. It was pretty much perfect for him. So great win. Nothing you could take away from it. We're going into this next pay-per-view, and we got an interim lightweight championship fight. It's crazy how the lightweight championship, the history of the lightweight championship is crazy. I should do a whole video on that one day. But we're going to watch another interim championship fight between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to have to break that down soon. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for all that. I love doing the breakdowns. I kind of slacked in the last half of 2025. But we back. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. Always appreciate you guys for watching. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. And I will catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando's out.